Hello, my friend. I'm Dr. David Lucas, and I'm here to talk to you about the power of public speaking. I want to welcome you to this series of videos, and in fact, this broad-ranging education effort that you're making to learn more about public speaking. Let's begin to talk about the value of public speaking. Why should you even take this series of learning experiences and exercises? Why you should try to become a good public speaker? Well, first of all, you realize that by learning to be a good public speaker, you gain great confidence in yourself. If you've lacked self-esteem, if you've had struggle with confidence, then this is the moment for you. Because once you learn this material, once you learn this set of secrets of good public speaking, then, my friend, your whole life will change. You'll become a confident person. You'll be able to step out at the moment you need to and speak up. Get the job you dream of, or lead the people to do something special that you want them to do. Second, did you know that people who watch public speakers, and if you're able to speak well, they think you're more intelligent? It's true. I don't know about you, but I need all the help I can get. When you walk into a room and you speak with articulation and good pronunciation, and you do a great job in presenting your material, people's estimation of your IQ raises. Leads us to that third part about being a leader. People who can speak well are considered and perceived as being a great leader. That's why it's so important for you, whether you're in politics, whether you want to be a preacher, whether you're trying to just further your education, or whether you're trying to get a better job, no matter your purpose, taking this particular series of speech exercises and helps will provide you the kind of experience and background and strength that you need. Confidence, leadership, and a high IQ. That's what we all want. Today, we're going to talk about the value of public speaking. Let's think for a moment. How does public speaking bring great value to your life? First, it's going to bring you confidence. By learning public speaking skills, you're going to become a more confident person. Confident in your life, confident in your abilities, confident in your career, confident in your future. Second, you're not going to be afraid any longer of doing that first speech. Now maybe you've already been speaking places. Well, it's like any other skill. There are some items I'm sure you've just not mastered yet. So we're going to start all over. And in these series of videos and in this experience and course, we're going to learn how to do that first speech. Next, we're going to learn to speak freely but ethically. You're going to be able to express yourself in a very free manner, not with reservation, fear, anxiety, the jiggles and jitters. All of that can be put aside, and I'll show you those secrets. Maybe you get a real dry mouth when you speak. I'm going to show you how to get over that. And finally, we're going to teach you that to be a good speaker, you have to be a good listener. So let's go back now and think, what does public speaking bring to me? What can it do for you? Well, we've already said it gives you leadership abilities, it gives you a perception that you're a lot smarter, and it gives you strength and confidence in yourself. Confidence is what we all want. This word, con, is a prefix, means with. Phi is that faith. And this dense means that it's in there, solid as a brick. So you're with faith deeply, a deep foundation of great faith in yourself. Confidence, that's what you want. I remember as a young man traveling around in southern Indiana with my uncle in his oil truck. I was afraid to tell him I needed to use the bathroom. I can't explain to you why I was afraid. He was my uncle. I knew him. He wasn't a stranger. I wasn't afraid of him. I was afraid to admit to him that I needed to use the bathroom. Finally, we pulled up to a farm, and I walked up behind the barn, and well, you can guess the rest. After I got back in the truck, he said, "Why didn't you just tell me you had to use the bathroom? I would have stopped for you." I had no answer. I was not confident in myself. It's important for us to learn to be confident. Now, there are a lot of ways you can build confidence. First, the way you stand. Don't lock your knees together. Don't do that, because that cuts off blood circulation to the upper torso, and you can fall over like tipping cows. Don't get all rigid and nervous. I know that anxiety really builds up a lot of tight muscles in the neck. You've got to learn to loosen up. Have you ever watched one of those movies about Elvis before he went on the stage? Well, maybe not. You might be too young for that. But Elvis would do all kinds of gyrations and loosening up before he would go out, to loosen up the vocal folds, his jaw, the muscles, his whole body, because he was presenting his whole body in his singing. I don't want you to be Elvis, but I do want you to be a confident speaker. And the way you do that is to get ready. Now, another important feature that I think is going to be critical for you is this idea of practice. I tell every student I've ever taught, and I've been doing this a long time, practice your speech at least 25 times, especially that first speech. Now you might think, there's no way I've got time to do this. Well, you have to take time. Look, I'm not asking you to go into the classroom or some big auditorium and practice there. I'm saying practice in the car, practice at home, practice in the bathroom, practice in the closet, practice at the barn, practice at the park. If you're a jogger, practice, practice, practice. Practice that first speech. It's critical, because the more you learn it so that you're sick of it. You want to regurgitate because you've been over so much. You become good at it, confident in what you're doing, what you're saying. Notice that I don't search for words when I'm doing this. Why? Because I'm a brilliant guy? No, that's not the answer. The answer is I practiced. I got ready. I practiced with the microphone. I practiced with the presentation. I practiced from my notes. Look, it's very, very important for you to practice. Now, Aristotle wrote a book called The Rhetoric a long, long time ago. Naturally, he wrote this in Greek, but they've translated it into English. Some of you will rush out and go get a copy of The Rhetoric, at least from the library. Now, it's a deep book. It's not easy reading. It's not Dr. Seuss. But I'll tell you this much. He set the standard for what we need to do in presentations. That was the first speech book. And now you can understand what it means to be a good speaker. You follow the process. There are rules to be followed, and it's a science. If you obey the rules, you'll get the same outcome. Just like 2 plus 2 plus 2 is 6. Do this, do this, do this, and you get a good speech. Over this series of videos, I'm going to show you how to do that. Throughout them, I'm going to give you little secrets that I've learned over the years, or learned from Aristotle, or some of the other people that I've always read. There are a lot of books out there. There are a lot of people that are going to give you bad advice. Let me give you an example. Maybe you've tried to speak before, and people told you to look at the back of the room or the corners of the room. That's hogwash. If I look at the back of the room, you can tell where I'm looking, right? I'm looking at the back of the room, in the corners. The only thing there's lint, spider webs, and spiders. Come on. Look at the audience. That's to whom you're speaking. That's who you're trying to convince or give them information. Look at the audience. They're not going to bite you. It's important for you to make eye contact with the audience. Now, there's one other, I don't know where this came from, one other piece of advice people give you. They say, imagine your entire audience is in their underwear. No, thank you. I don't want to pretend anybody's in their underwear. I want to look at the audience. Good eye contact gives good confidence. They're confident in you. You're confident in what you're saying. Now, second, let's talk about that first speech. I realize some of you may have spoken before. Maybe you've spoken at church, PTA. Maybe you've spoken here or there for a labor meeting. Who knows? But we're starting all over. Because there's a lot for you to remember. Just like we talked about that eye contact, hand gestures, keeping the nonverbal powerful and agreeing with the message, practicing that message over and over again. Your first speech should be well practiced so that it can be well delivered. Now, this isn't easy. So you've got to learn to breathe. Anxiety causes us to breathe shallow in the lungs. You want to breathe deeply in the lungs. Anxiety causes us to want to run rapid in our public speaking. And we don't want to do that. Notice that I'll take the time and pause and speak to you like you're standing right in front of me, because that's what I want you to feel, that we're having a conversation. Public speaking is nothing more than heightened conversation. A little louder than you normally are, maybe a little bit more out and open, but it's heightened conversation. You'll learn to use nonverbal in a very, very good way. And all of that will be delivered in that first speech. Once you're practiced and you know what you're doing and you know your outline so that there's no room for failure, then this confidence leads you to deliver a really good first speech. Once you've got that first speech done and people congratulate you, then, my friend, you're on your way. And so, I encourage you to think about being confident in the first speech so that many more will follow. And learn to speak not only in the first speech, but in all the presentations you do, freely and ethically. Politicians have found out the hard way that if you tell a lie, people will find you out. There are too many of these out in the audience anymore. They can video you, they can sound record you, and be sure your sins will find you out. If you're biased, prejudiced, mean, cruel, if you tell a lie, they're going to record it and they're going to fact find you, and suddenly you'll find yourself in a broil of a mess. It's important for you to speak freely about what items you believe in, but not to be cruel, mean, or nasty. Be ethical about it. Tell the truth. Now it's important because we know of many, many people who've had a downfall because they didn't speak the truth. If you're especially working in public relations, or if you end up in any kind of marketing, you've got to present with enthusiasm and power, but at the same time speak the truth. Don't try to oversell your item. Just deliver it ethically, freely, openly as to what can happen. I'm not going to lie to you. Public speaking is an art form. It's like learning to be a painter or an artist, a sculptor. It's like an athlete. You can't just go out and win the World Series on the first day. You're going to have to learn how to run the bases and then to drive it home. It's important for you to realize that this ethical experience of delivering truth is a catharsis, a cleansing, if you will. It feels great to get up in front of people and deliver the goods, and then let them decide. You can do it effectively, powerfully, wonderfully, but you've got to do it in a way that they believe. If they don't believe you, you're nonverbal and you're verbal, then it won't matter, and you will have wasted their time and yours. Finally, to become a good speaker, you have to listen to speeches. Now, I don't know how many of you passed up the State of the Union address delivered by the President, but I always watch it. Why? Because I'm a big politician buff? Well, yes, I am. But that's not the reason I watch the State of the Union address. Because it's a formal speech. I take notes, not because I'm a political activist on either side, but because I want to watch the continued flow, the transitions, how he makes illustrations, or how she, when there's a female president, delivers the goods to Congress. There's all kinds of speeches that you can watch. I love going to them. Now, if you're a church-going person, you want to mess up your preacher, go in with notes. Take notes of what he's saying. Because for the first time, he'll realize somebody's very interested in what he's doing. Watch his eye contact. Watch hand gestures. Any speaker, female politician, male politician, all of these folk who are doing public speaking around you, learn to be observant. What do you like? What looks good? What doesn't look good? I'll give you an illustration right now that I think is very important for you to remember. Human beings have two sides to them. Did you know that? That's why we have buttons up our shirt. That's where I wear my tie here and not over here. We have two nostrils, two ears, two eyes. Human beings have two sides, two lobes to the brain. So if I cross this barrier line, this border line here, it sets up cognitive dissonance. You know what that is? The thinking goes wrong. Watch. It's over there. And you may not even know why you don't like this gesture, but I can tell you why, because I'm breaking the rules. If I'm going to point to something over there, I start here and I sweep. It's over there. No, wait. It's over there. Well, you begin to get the idea. One foot out in front of the other, either way, left or right. Lean forward when you're going to make an important point. Lean back when you're kind of surprised. People believe nonverbal over the verbal. We'll talk more about this in the series of videos. But it's important for you to realize that you've got to learn to listen to speeches and take notes and be what they are in the good parts. Imitate, emulate, be just like them. Nothing wrong with that. So, let's think about what we've learned. That good public speaking makes you smarter. Good public speaking makes you more confident. Good public speaking makes you a leader. All of us want that. You want that. You want to be smarter. You want to be a leader. And I know that you want to be perceived as a person who's confident. Now, you say, well, I'm not confident. I'm scared of public speaking. Well, that's why you're taking this presentation, this course, because you want to know more about it. You can speak with confidence. I'll show you how. I'll give you the rules. You practice and you'll make it to that first speech. Once you mark that first speech, it'll be great. You'll speak freely and ethically, and you'll learn to listen to others as they speak so you can become good. Let me close with my first speech. I was in the 8th grade. Nobody taught us about an introduction, a body, or a conclusion. Nobody taught us about illustrations, hand gestures. They just said in the 8th grade, on such and such a day, you're going to have to give a speech. What topic? They didn't care. You have to give a speech. It has to go so many minutes. Well, everyone else was terrified, but I kind of liked the assignment. Admittedly, back in those days, we had encyclopedias. Some of you don't even know what that is. But there was an encyclopedia. Some of them were missing in our school. We were in a poor rural school. Some of the encyclopedias had been carried off. But I remember the letter B was there. I opened it up and thumbed through it and found an entire section that fascinated me on honeybees. Do you know that bees dance to communicate? Do you know that I gave that speech on that Thursday afternoon in my 8th grade class, and I've never forgotten it because it was my first speech. They say you remember your first kiss. They say you always remember your first wife. They say you always remember the first time for about everything. First time to see the ocean. First time to shoot a gun. They say you remember those first. I remember my first speech. And it was so much fun. Because I organized my presentation. I practiced it with great enthusiasm. And when I got up there, I spoke from the heart. I remembered my notes. And I spoke straight to the audience. I got an A on that speech. And I changed my destiny. I decided at that moment I always wanted to speak publicly. And so here I am. Same. From that little 8th grade class to today, speaking publicly. Now, you can do this too. It takes work. It's a science. There are rules to remember and obey, but you can do this. The value of public speaking, it can change your life and all those around you and all those who hear you. Let's get to it.